Hi there. This week we're going to be talking about digital safety advice for anyone with a uterus. My name is Steve. This is TQA Weekly. This episode is for anyone with a uterus, not just women. We all heard about Roe versus Wade being overturned. It is one of the greatest crimes against humanity, especially against all Americans with a uterus. It is a time where people have to understand that their rights are not guaranteed. They are always in danger, and right now, more than any time ever before, you're going to find it a lot harder to get an abortion without necessarily getting caught or suspected. There are a few things you can do to minimize those risks. And let's start off with the most basic, fundamental ones. Your period trackers, delete them. If they are not on your device and only on your device, with only local storage, with no backups to the cloud, no backups to any other company, no third party accessing it, if there is no way to ensure that no third party is not accessing your period information, delete that. Because anything that is saved to the cloud is not in your possession, and American law has stated that they do not need a warrant to subpoena the information from you. They can merely go and get it from those companies, and what's worse is any data collection company will sell the information. They don't even need a warrant. So get rid of that. The next thing is, from now on, you're going to be using a VPN, and that VPN is going to output to any abortion-friendly countries. As I've said before, when it comes to using VPNs, it's probably a better idea to use them all the time, because any of the time that you're not using it will be considered times that you're doing something legitimate. So if you're using them all the time, then they have too much information to go through and they won't be able to find it all, because it's going to be end-to-end encryption. So make sure that you're using a VPN that leads to an abortion-friendly country. Geofencing. Now, I know a lot of you out there think of geofencing as a game or something. This is not a game. Your cell phones and any other electronics can be tracked. You can use geofencing to figure out who is going in and out of various areas. It is your worst nightmare, especially if you're trying to geofence people coming in and out of any clinic that does abortions. Leave your phones at home. I've heard the advice of using a burner phone. I'm going to go as far as saying that may or may not be a good idea. If your burner phone and your actual phone are in the same vicinity, they will be correlated as being to one person. Make sure you get a Faraday cage or Faraday bag. Anything that can block any of the signals, make sure your devices are off when they are in it, because you will drain out the batteries. But your phone and your burner phone should never be in the same geographic location whatsoever. Otherwise, they'll be correlated to you. And the point of a burner phone is for it not to come back to you. So don't do that. And for the same problem for geofencing, if you're going to go to any place, make sure you go and get, that friend with the horrible, really old car that has nothing updated on it. Cars that have computers that connect can also be geofenced. So it might actually be worth your while to start going around with people who have really old cars. One, it's recycling of old vehicles, and two, they don't have computers that are going to be just telling where you are going. It'll make you a lot safer in that regard. And that's because nobody will know where those cars are going except for the license plate, which will be a problem, but it's a lot less of a problem than geofencing a vehicle, which is still technically possible because a lot of vehicles, including Teslas, do call home. Now, along the points of data collection, you're going to have to understand another detail. You're going to have to pay cash. You're going to have to forego collecting points. And you're going to probably want to avoid places you go often to avoid data collection and detection, because anybody who actually really knows you could probably just enter your information in for your points card or your phone number or whatever. So it's a good idea not to go and get all that stuff from stores you go to routinely, and to pay cash whenever you get those kinds of items, so that there's no information coming back to you again, because you definitely don't want anybody to know this. And if you want to go even further than everything else, everything that I have just mentioned, and you really need those kinds of stuff done, I need you to take a vacation to Canada or to any other friendly country of this. Many people around the world are very well aware that the right to your body is important, not just for the life and death of an embryo, but for the life and death of you, for the mental and psychological trauma that can ensue from being forced to have a kid that you never wanted. You are welcome in Canada. I am Canadian. If you need to, come up here. Even our Prime Minister has opened the door to you. Don't let this be a moment for you to be just shot down and left without any rights. And if it was of my own decision and opinion and suggestion, I would just say that every woman worth their grain in salt. Just vacate the United States, because it is absolutely the worst country right now to live in. Because now you have fewer rights than some terror cells. And that feels like a crime. So, I want you to like this episode if you like it, dislike it if you didn't, but that probably shows who you are more than anything else. Share with those that you think can benefit from this, and don't forget to subscribe. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions for topics, email me at ask@tqaweekly.com or go to my website for more information on this episode, past others, find other ways of subscribing, and of course use the contact form to email me directly. If you want to see me play video games, head over to twitch.tv/zxis1981. Feel free to ask more questions there. And don't forget, if you're coming up here, you're coming up here to see Uncle Steve. Stay safe. Goodbye.